As we reported, Ramon Laureano, an Oriole now via trade. Does that mean an ace could be on the way to the Orioles? Hello, everybody. I'm Jon Leiberman. This is Orioles Digest. Big news this morning. As you know, we reported Laureano coming to the Orioles. Ramon for a year, $4 million, joining a very crowded outfield. Now, more insight into who else could be headed to the Orioles. Please subscribe, comment, like, tell us what you think. Once again, if you don't know me, I'm Jon Leiberman, years on television, America's Most Wanted. I wrote a true crime book. You might know me from the Howard Stern show, but you might also just know me as a huge Orioles fan. I was at Memorial Stadium many, many fateful nights, at Camden Yards, hundreds of times. Let's get into it, though. And the big news of the day, and this from our friends at Fansided, they are saying this Astros-Orioles trade would help the Astros find the money to bring back Alex Bregman. Bregman is going to command somewhere in the neighborhood of $200 million. How can the Astros find the money? Well, Fansided is talking about this. Fansided is talking about Framber Valdez to the Orioles in exchange for Heston Kjerstad and Dylan Beavers. Now, is it possible? Could it happen? Why could it happen? And what do you think? Do you want Valdez? Start to comment now as I lay out the case that this could happen, folks. Look, it is no secret. In my opinion, Mike Elias is an elite general manager. I know in the comments you're going to say, no, he's not. No, he's not. But this guy is playing chess this offseason. As we've reported, 7, 8, 9 moves this offseason. But it's all getting the Orioles, in my opinion, in position to get an ace. We told you last night about the signing of Ramon Laureano for a year, $4 million, joining a very, very crowded outfield. You want to see just how crowded that outfield is? We're going to get to Valdez's stats in just a moment. But first, let's look at how crowded that outfield is. You have a very busy Birds outfield. You have Cedric, you have Tyler O'Neill, you have the new pickup of Laureano, you have Dylan Carlson, you have Colton, you have Heston Kjerstad, and this doesn't even take into account other variables of other people that the Orioles have on the farm. So, could the Laureano deal actually lead to Valdez coming to the Birds? Here's why. Crowded outfield, as we just alluded to. The idea that Heston Kjerstad doesn't have a clear role on the team, and yet he has such amazing talent that the Astros would welcome. Dylan Beavers, again, no clear role on the Orioles, lots and lots of talent that the Astros would welcome. And there's the cash. Because if the Astros opt to trade Framber Valdez, if they opt to trade him, it would bring them the money that they need to sign Alex Bregman, and it would net them at least one really good major leaguer, if not multiple major leaguers. So that's what we're looking at. For some of you who might not be as familiar with Framber Valdez, let's take a look at his statistics right now as we move away from the busy Orioles outfield and we look at Valdez's statistics, the guy can pitch. 28 games. You see he gives up some Ks, but he also strikes out a heck of a lot of hitters. A sub-3 ERA. He walks a fair amount of batters, but when you look at the full package, here's a 31-year-old with solid numbers. It would be a huge move for the Birds, but it would also be a good move for the Astros because it frees up the money that they want or that they need rather for Alex Bregman, and it again will net them guys that they can basically slot into their starting lineup right now with no with no hesitation at all. And think about a rotation that puts Valdez here at the top of the rotation. So if you think about it for a second, potentially you could have a rotation including Valdez, Grayson Rodriguez, Zach Eflin, Charlie Morton eating up innings, Tomoyuki Sugano, who is a big wild card at this point, but if he performs the way that he performed overseas, he could even be a potential ace. All of that, leaving out with injury and people coming back from injury, all of the depth in the pitching staff that you could have. You have Dean Kramer healthy. Kyle Bradish is on his way back, hopefully. Tyler Wells on his way back. John Means, a free agent. We don't know yet. But Valdez would shore up the top of that rotation. And so, my friends, I ask you this. I believe, and I've said this from the jump, I believe all of these moves are putting the pieces in place so that Mike Elias can get Brandon Hyde an ace starter. So, if you had your druthers, would you want Valdez? Would you want Flaherty? Would you want Castillo? Would you want Dylan Cease? Who would you want to be at the top of that rotation? Or do you think the Orioles have what they need to go far in the postseason based on depth? Depth is important, but we all know an ace is important as well. Is Grayson the ace? Is Zach Eflin the ace? Some say yes. I say solid number twos each, but you need somebody at the top of the rotation that's just a shut-em-down starter. I want to hear from you. I'm Jon Leiberman. This is Orioles Digest. Like us, get us to 1,000 subscribers, and we're heading into spring training real soon, folks. Talk to you soon.